Hello and shalom from Israel. Welcome to the studio Politically Incorrect with Sanya Sal. Here's Dr. Igor Salganik speaking to you. We are going to talk today about the darkest side of the Spanish history, and we want to begin with what happened on the 7th of October last year, 2023, on the Israeli-Gaza border. As everybody knows, the Hamas terrorists invade the southern part of the country and killed more than 1,200 people, most of them civilians, brutally killed, raped, burned alive. Some of the people were decapitated, and about 200 people were kidnapped to the territory of Gaza Strip. At the end of the same year, 2023, South African government has applied to the International Court of Hague with the claim that Israeli army has committed genocide in Gaza on peaceful Gaza population. June this year, the Spanish government has asked the same court to add its claim to the South African claim, that is, that Israeli army has committed genocide on Gaza population. Let's make the short revision of the Spanish history. In the year 1391, Spanish population that was actually expired by the government has committed pogroms in various Spanish cities, Castilla, Aragon, and others. More than 50,000 Jews were estimated to be killed by Spanish by this occasion. But it was just the start. 1492, the Spanish Catholic kings, Ferdinand and Isabella, have issued a so-called Act, Alhambra Decree, that actually was the order to expel all the Jews from the Spanish territory. Those that would not be willing to be expelled had two possibilities. One of the possibilities was to be converted into Catholicism, and the another one was to be murdered. About 300,000 Jews, some estimates are speaking about 400,000 Jews, have converted to Christianity, to Catholicism. About maybe 60,000 Jews have left the country and were spread over the whole Europe. Others have been brutally killed. The estimates are about 50,000 people that have been killed because they were not willing to be converted and they did not want to leave the country. But it was only the beginning. With the travel of Columbus to America, there began an era of the most terrible atrocities in the whole human history. As we now estimate, there were about 50 million people, indigenous people, in America. About 10 million have lived in the northern part of the mainland, that is now North America and Canada. The rest lived downwards. From these 40 million people, today we count about 2 million. That means that almost all the indigenous population of South America has been decimated. of course, by Spanish. The Aztec Empire that is on this modern territory of Mexico has been conquered by Hernan Cortez, and the Incas kingdom has been conquered by Francisco Pizarro. Spanish conquistadors never spared any brutality on the local population. They killed them, they enslaved them, they sexually used them, raped them. And one of the reasons why part of this population has been left alive was the fact that the Spanish have been using the silver and gold mines that had been discovered by the native population. And to use these mines, they exploit the native population. That was the reason why they were left alive. But almost everybody has been killed. Some of them has been killed by the infectious diseases brought by conquistadors. And some of them were killed just by the rifles of Spanish conquistadors, the arms that the local population did not possess. We were talking of the genocide that had been committed by Spanish on Jews, 1492, but not only Jews were affected by that time and by this year. On the parallel, the Spanish attacked the Muslim population in Andalusia, and the peak of these atrocities has been in Granada. Important to note that before conquering Granada, the Spanish kings promised the Muslims that they will be spared from killing, they will be provided their places for their worship, that they will continue to be using Arab language. All of these promises were, of course, not being kept, and most of Arab population have been killed, and some of them has escaped to the African continent. In the 18th century already, and exactly 1749, the Spanish king Ferdinand VI has ordered extermination of all the Gitano population of Spain, that so they call the Gypsies of Spain, the Roma people of Spain. As a result of this order, about 12,000 Gitano people have been brutally murdered. This included men, women, and children. The rest of them has been imprisoned, and in the prison they have been starving to death. Great number of them got infectious diseases and died from the disease. And as a result of this, almost all the Gitano population, all the Roma population of Spanish have been killed. In the view of all that, we have to ask, how dares Spain, after having committed such atrocities during their entire history, how dare they excuse somebody in genocide? Especially Israel, especially our army, that is well known for its moral standards and for its sparing the civil population, unlike any other army in the world. It's also important to mention that Spain never took responsibility for any of these atrocities, never has excused itself to anybody. And on the contrary, all the historic facts that are talking about these acts of genocide, they call it Leyenda Negra, Black Legend, and they're attacking everybody who is speaking about their history as anti-Spanish and anti-Catholic. It's very important to mention that, first of all, the first notice of total extermination of the population has been made by Spain in regard to their Gitano population. They were speaking by them about the final solution. I think it reminds you something. Yes, most of historians today think that this was the inspiration for the German Nazis for their final solution in Wannsee and Lösung in German. In comparison to Germans, after the Second World War, we know that the Germans took the whole responsibility for the atrocities they committed during the war and are talking about this even today, and this is a part of the modern German policy. I think that Spanish have to be ashamed of themselves about all the atrocities they committed during their whole history, and they have yet to be more ashamed that they dare to claim the same genocide claims about other people, especially about Israelis that never have done anything similar to that and will never do it. And again, as for the claims of genocide from the side of Spain towards Israel, I would like to cite the words of Douglas Murray, who said, "Of course, Israelis have committed genocide. The best proof is that the population of Gaza tripled since Israelis took the responsibility for the strip." Thank you very much for your attention. Please subscribe. I would very much appreciate your comments, and I promise you to answer all of them. Thank you again.